Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Drop. And this is from director Christopher Landon, creator of Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, and was going to be doing Scream 7, and now, after all of that fiasco, shifts gears and delivers this new film written by Gillian Jacobs and Chris Roach that focuses on Violet, played by Megan Fahey, who is a widow going out on her first date in years, and meets up with Henry, played by Brandon Sklenar, who I feel like gotten a lot of attention, especially because like 1923 and stuff like that. And they're on this date, but she begins to be bombarded on her phone by airdrops and these threatening messages that are trying to encourage her to kill her date, or something bad's going to happen to her son and sister at home. And this film certainly channels a lot of that energy that Landon brought to like Happy Death Day. It's a lot of energy, a lot of humor, but also it delivers on those slasher, horror, thriller elements that it's trying to go for. This particular film really is trying to channel a lot of Hitchcockian elements. We do have this very, for the most part, focused on this one like high-rise restaurant, and we're there for most of it. It does cut away a bit to her home where her son is, but overall, like, we're in the setting. We keep seeing Violet getting these messages, and it keeps heightening the tension of these threats, but also the complexity of, a first date and trying to really connect, and all of those elements coming together. You can feel the dynamic camera choices, the blocking, a lot of Dutch angles here. And there's definitely some clunky editing in sometimes because it's like overly quick editing and it makes it feel a little awkward, especially in one particular scene, like at the very end of the movie. I'm just like, they did not need to cut that much for this scene of two people just sitting there in a room. But it has some of those clunky elements, but there's a lot more that works. And I think that this film really channels those traits, those filmmaking trademarks and aspects that really made Hitchcock famous. And, like, is Landon Hitchcock? No. But, like, he does a really good job of leveraging those kinds of elements into his film, and it gives it this pulpy, classic thriller kind of feel. And you have Bear McCreary, who's doing the score, and Mark Spicer, who's doing the cinematography. And it all comes together to really build some high-quality tension and suspense. And then you have really good humor. There's quite a few comic relief characters, from the sister to the waiter, that just add some layers. And also, both Violet and Henry have a lot of charisma. They have great chemistry together. Fahey and Sklenar are just so good together. It's like, we want this couple to work out because we're really charmed by them, and we can see how much they really like each other and connect with each other. It's just this heightening frustration of like, how much more can this date go awry? And as the film gets to its climax, you kind of have to throw some of your suspension of disbelief out, because the issue is, like, the very big climax of this movie feels a little unrealistic in terms of, like, its timing logic, and you're just like, well, okay. But the actual thrill elements of it are so well done, and leveraging such impactful things from home invasions to, like, dangling from a skyscraper, these things that are gonna scare you. And I really think that this cast really works. I think Landon brings quite a bit of personality to this film through his cinematic voice. And sure, like, is it silly and a little too far-fetched at times, logic-wise? Sure. But I think the rest of these elements, even withstanding some of the clunky editing, there's just something about this film that's very charming, energetic, and just pulls you in, and you're in it and having a blast from start to finish. But those are my thoughts on Drop. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.